Hello and welcome to this YouTube channel. I'm your host, Kariba. I'm a lead project engineer here in Saudi Arabia. I work for an oil and gas producing company. My engineering experience spans over 25 years, of which the earlier 15 years I was in mining and minerals, the whole of Africa, and the latter 10 years I've been right here in Saudi Arabia. I am also the founder of KaribaWorld Group, of which we do a lot of mentorship, coaching, and training. So once again, welcome you all. Today, we are going to continue with our International Job Hunt CV Review Part 3. We started off Part 1, whereby we look at internationally acceptable resume standards based on KaribaWorld. We looked at the cover page, cover letter, CV summary or CV introduction, and we phased in our friend Leifa's CV. He had submitted his resume with us so that we can do the review process online. Part 2 involved the formal education and his experience. And then we looked at KaribaWorld checklist and compared it to what our friend Lefa has brought to the table. And then we draw our conclusions. So for today, we continue with part 3 of this process. And hopefully this will close the whole CV review for Mr. Lefa. Okay, now we will continue with the CV review process. Now, section 6 of our CV, what we always or would recommend in most cases is having a candidate to include at least the top 3 projects or assignments. And this should include at the minimum name of company or employer, project description, length of project, your project role, what was your role within the project, and the project cost. We also prefer that you list the cost in USD so that it is easy for whichever country you want to apply a job to for them to interpret. And we just added a note. This will not be the same for every discipline. And we will prefer that you tabulate your results because tabulated results are easy to understand. They are clear to the eye. So now we will go to the next slide to see what our friend Mr. Lesfa has brought to the table. Did he include this? Is this included in his resume? If not, what recommendations are we bringing to the table? Our friend Mr. Lefa has not listed any projects or assignments that he was part of or he supervised. So this is our recommendation to him to say, Mr. Lefa, go dig into your brains, look back, what projects were you involved in? What role did you play? If you have, let's list them out. For now, we just plug this in here as an example for everyone as we go through this learning process. Other people may have different views, but these are the views of KaribaWorld program as we embark on this journey. We say project number 1 or assignment number 1, employer name is company 1, project description, construct new sampling station, length of project 6 months, role that you played in the project supervisor, cost 60,000 US dollars, and company 2, company 3, if all of these were in company 1 or company 2 or company 3 as well, he can put all of them under the one employer. And project description needs to be clear and sweet and short. Project length in months, role in the project, costing. So now, Mr. Lefa, this is something he can look at, and if he likes it, he needs to implement this in his resume. Now, this part of the CV review, we're looking at plant and equipment experience. We look for one to list the type of plants is worked on or is familiar with, the type of equipment is worked on and or is familiar with. And looking at our friend Lefa's resume, Lefa has added the plant and equipment experience under one of his three employers, but not separately within the list of duties or responsibilities. And these are listed as sampling of raw materials, intermediate and final product samples, which is wrong. Pumping of chemicals. Okay, we can make the assumption that pumps is working with pumps, but what type of pumps? Knowledge of operating dosing pumps. Okay, dosing pumps. Interpretation of results and adjusting the equipment. As KaribaWorld, this is our recommendations for Mr. Leaf. And now as KaribaWorld, this is our recommendations to Mr. Leaf. Instruments. He's got instruments that he's worked with, listed in his resume. Rock crushers, for example, because we assume that since he's in the laboratory, he might be also familiar with such equipment. This is only an example for him to give him an idea where to dig when he looks for this information. Chemical dosing pumps, he made mention of those. Screens, because if you are working with crushers, there will be screens. Water pumps. He mentioned water pumps somewhere in his resume. So we can include this as a type of equipment that you work on. We will move to the next part of our CV review. This part of the CV review, we look at computer literacy or computer programs that our client might be familiar with. Looking at our friend Mr. Lefa in his resume, Lefa has combined his computer skills together with other general skills. He put it under the heading of skills, attributes, knowledge, expertise. And he listed a whole lot of other stuff in there. So the computer literacy is mingled within all of this. It does not stick out. And we must take note that computer skills are very important in today's job market. So this section must stand alone. It needs to stand out. Our recommendations to Mr. Lefa is these are just like examples. We can have MS Project, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, LIMS, as they use it in the laboratories, labware, whatever, data analysis programs, project scheduling software, if he's proficient in programming, whatever it may be. But have this list under computer literacy or computer programs. This will make him shine. Let's move to the next section. This will be the last part of our CV review. References. When we look at our friend Mr. Lefa, he has not provided any references. All he says is references will be provided on request. A lot of people, they do this. It's a free world. But my recommendations, I will always encourage people to at least have 1, 2, or 3 references. As I put at the bottom there, take note, including at least 1 or 2 references, you show some confidence and honesty about your resume. Once you say will be provided on request or whatever, these people going through the CVs, there is a lot that goes through their mind. And sometimes they just want to do a quick verification. When they think they still have to contact you, it's too much of a job. My recommendation is list your references. It shows that you are confident. It shows that you have nothing to hide. You are transparent. So we recommend, in my case, I always have a table because I love tables. Tables, they show everything clear. But it doesn't mean that it's only tables that are acceptable. You can still list them normally in point form. It's up to you. But I will always have my way Other people will have their way. There's no one correct way. All of them, they work. My way is a table. Tables are easy to understand. Everything is to the point. So now this brings our whole CV review, part 1, part 2, part 3 to the end. And I would like to thank my friend Lefa for being a giant, sharing your CV so that we can do the review here online. Thank you, Lefa. And we look to many more CVs that we will be reviewing in the near future. We're going to be taking CVs from matriculants, high school, tertiary, new graduates, professional. We will be doing this on an ongoing basis. We're just going to do it as we go along. KaribaWorld program, the website will be active within the next 2 weeks before the end of October 2024. Our website will be active. Our website will include CV reviews, mentorship, coaching, training, international jobs. Recruiters, corporate, they will be coming to dump international jobs onto our website on a day-to-day basis. We are working on all of this. The website is in its final commissioning phase. We will soon be going on trial, and we want to have it implemented by end of October 2024, which is this month. Thank you and goodbye. If you want to gather more information about KaribaWorld Group and its programs, the email address is info@karibaworld.com or admin@karibaworld.com. Goodbye.